Welcome back to Doom Eternal. Let's take a look at the Doomslayer's giant flying satellite in space. Why are you guys looking at me like that?
I do not have the means to locate the second Hell Priest. Your celestial locator is missing a component. We will need a replacement. I've completed the redesign of your equipment launcher. The flame belch is now ready for your approval.
The flame belch. Here's another. This is awesome. I love this. If an enemy is on fire, then it spews out armor. And this flame belch lets you light enemies on fire. Not with that button.
Yeah, no, flame belch right there.
1 + 1 = 2.
There you go. So the Fortress of Doom. Why the fuck is this here? God damn, there's so much to explain. Let's talk about this first. Sentinel crystals. This pretty much replaces the Argent energy balls from the first game. You choose to increase your health, armor, ammo like normal, but if you complete one of these like pairs of things, then you also get the buff that comes along with them.
See, low-key, I always just... I maxed out ammo, and then I actually started going for bonuses.
That's fair.
The portal is activated and ready when you are.
Ammo does feel like the more immediate problem to solve.
The Fortress of Doom is a command station that was created by the Sentinels, also using Maker technology. That was mostly for military purposes, and now the Doomslayer's pretty much taken it over. To listen to the radio.
This is an ARC broadcast. There are reports coming out of the quarantined Hellified zone near the San Andreas Chasm. Satellite imagery show what ARC personnel believe to be the legendary Doomslayer himself fighting the mortally challenged. The Doomslayer, or Doom Guy, as he is sometimes referred to, was thought to be a myth of the Resistance, a sort of avenging angel. He was last reported to be seen on Mars, and is allegedly responsible for the destruction of the Argent Tower there. He disappeared soon afterwards. The UAC continues to deny all reports of his existence. We will continue to broadcast new information as we receive it.
So every now and again you can listen to those radio broadcasts from the ARC, from the Resistance essentially. There's still some like pockets of humanity that still remain. I believe that radio broadcast is specifically coming from Antarctica, where apparently there are no demons. Maybe it's too cold and they don't think any humans are there. So they're just all holed up in Antarctica.
Look, hell is hot, except for that one part that isn't. So demons love the heat. We're gonna talk about Cocytus.
So, you can see the difference in color already. This place, Exultia, is fucking gorgeous.
This is also a different world.
It is.
Ah! I like the statue of Doom Guy during his time as a drummer.
I like the platforming in this. I think it helps break things up, and it generally feels pretty good.
Yes, this is a big thing as well. Like, you're gonna be doing a lot of jumping around and climbing on shit. Two common complaints that I hear people state about this game are the story and the platforming. I disagree. I love both of those things. Like, I don't just like them or tolerate them. I love them. I love the platforming. When CJ was watching me play this game, they were like, wow, this platforming looks really satisfying and fun. And it is! I love it!
The main complaints I've mostly had are one similar to mine, which is related to the weak points and over-design and all that.
Here's a new enemy, the Gargoyles. I've heard a lot of people call them annoying. I can't quite tell because I kill them very quickly and they're very good chainsaw bait. But they can shoot things at you and they're kind of fast.
Yeah, they look like one of the irritating speedy type enemies.
They kind of are. They're so floppity and lanky too.
And also, yeah, this game goes hard and fast with introducing new enemy types. Some are new, some are from Doom 2, but in general, it really does do a lot with it.
Hello, floating Hell Knight. Why are you doing that? Hey, he's our Hell Knight. They've grown eyes again. Can't quite see him. There.
They're tiny.
Tiny little Reese's Pieces eyes.
Why don't you eat them?
Great question. I don't know what the point of that hound is. It's called the Wolf.
Big hand.
The Blood Punch. What is that? It's this.
Merry Fistmas.
So you use your melee attack when you've done enough damage, and you can do the Blood Punch. I consistently Blood Punch by mistake when I try to Glory Kill, which should be more annoying than it is, but I guess it isn't. Eventually you can upgrade it so that you get health when you Blood Punch people too, like a Glory Kill, so it doesn't get in the way so much.
Yeah, there are some nice benefits you can get for the Blood Punch that significantly improve it.
And runes are changed up a bit. You don't have to do a challenge to get them anymore. You find one and you just choose the rune you want. And you can equip up to 3 at a time like before. There's a few different ones too.
Got mixed feelings about a lot of these.
I do have a favorite trio that I typically stick with. First, of course, is increasing your movement control in the air. I highly recommend this. It makes everything a lot easier, especially with the increased focus on platforming.
Hey, have you shown off armor upgrades yet?
Armor upgrades? Not really. Little Arachna boy.
Oh, look at the little guy.
So one thing to keep an eye out for are those specific cracks in the wall. If they're there, that means you could punch through it, and they typically hold a secret. You can also swing on monkey bars, which is fun.
They generally do a lot to work with your mobility options for the combat, which is very nice.
Yeah, Doom 2016, one of the best things was how fast you move and how much mobility you have. This game increases that greatly, just with the environmental things like the monkey bars, as well as some other things we're going to be getting later. Torpo, I'm starting to realize what you're talking about, because new things keep getting introduced before I can explain the previous thing.
Yeah, I'm still a little dubious about the story, but the platforming and the flow of combat feels pretty good. At least just looking at it.
See, my issue with the weak points is actually I always felt they kind of broke up the combat in a way I didn't enjoy.
That I just straight up disagree with. I think they're fun to exploit, and if you choose not to exploit them, I don't think it hampers you too much. Except for something like the Cacodemon, where their weak point is so easy to exploit. Also, building on what you said, Thorn, how, like, the flow of gameplay is so good. Of course, any game I like, I'm gonna think is fun, but very rarely do I just stop what I'm doing when I'm playing a game and say to myself, God damn, this is fun. I do that all the time with Doom Eternal. This game is so satisfying at every point. There's a lot of ups and downs to this game. I have more to complain about with Doom Eternal than I do with Doom 2016. But I think its core gameplay is an absolute improvement. God damn. You see, that's why I prefer to use the sticky bombs against Cacodemons. The grenade's arc isn't quite as far, and it's not quite as predictable.
I always thought it works really well head-on, but...
Oh, shit. We're good.
Now, are you aiming at the Arachnotron's gun?
Yes, the turret on its back is its weak point, and once it's destroyed, it can no longer shoot it.
Okay, I couldn't tell if that was just kickback from the shotgun.
No. If you hear a tink, that means you've destroyed an enemy's weak point. If you hear a pop, that means you got a headshot. It's very funny. I'm partially reading through the Codex entry for Exultia to see if I can discern exactly what this place is, but the Codex entry is a translation from Ligra Sultagenta, or the Book of Kings, which is, I guess, a book of tales and such in this universe. So it's hard to determine exactly what this place is based on that, since it's an entry written by somebody in the world. Which is interesting in itself, but me dumb. Me can't explain this.
It's not exactly a historical artifact.
No. You're also going to see, because of how much more useful the map is, you're going to see me checking it a lot. A lot. As I mentioned before, I didn't use a guide so much. 100%ing this game's collectibles is significantly easier and more fun, so I very rarely used a guide playing through this game to find everything.
Took you a second to register.
Must punch?
Punch.
Come on, that's one of Doomguy's 3 words.
The other two are ugh and eh.
I thought his 3 words were rip and tear.
Well, he understands conjunctions.
Another amazing addition. The dash. You can dash in this game, and it's amazing. It is so fun to do. It helps with platforming a lot, it makes platforming more fun, and it helps with just moving around during hectic fights too. It is, I wish this was patched into Doom 2016 or something. I love it.
I can't think of any game where this is a hindrance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a good thing.
Except maybe like Sonic Heroes, but I don't think that counts.
No.
Yeah, that's what this needs. Crush 40.
Oh my god, that would be the best.
Mick Gordon cover of What I'm Made Of. It would almost be appropriate.
Cannot kill the priests. You know our laws. Despite their transgressions against the Covenant, they are still of Sentinel blood. What you interfere with now is bigger than you can imagine. It is written. It is their time to give penance. If you continue, you will bring down the heavens' wrath. You are but one man. They are no longer your people to save.
So King Novik is the king of Sentinel Prime, which is where the Sentinel people, which Doomguy is essentially descended of, is from. He's a very powerful king, and he's trying to stop you from doing everything here because there's still some involvement of the Sentinels in what the Makers are doing.
I like the detail of he's respectful to the king as a king, but also, fuck you, I'm gonna do what I must.
Yeah, Doomguy has this very nice and noticeable sense of honor in this game. Like, he does stop and listen to people, even if he doesn't entirely care about what they have to say.
So when he turned around, it just reminded me of one of my favorite endings in any video game, which is that of System Shock 2.
I kind of still want to play that game, so... it's one of those games that's like, I bought it on Steam 10 years ago. I'm going to play it one day, I swear.
Sure, I'll take your word for it.
I remember one time at work, some guy's username was, I was helping him log in, his username was a System Shock reference, and I was like, hey, is that a System Shock reference? He was like, yeah! I won't give out this poor man's username on camera, but...
Fucked up.
Well, you just did a System Shock reference.
Shit! Nobody hack into his account. So that's a Sentinel battery. Those can be used back at the Fortress of Doom.
This Sentinel battery can be used to provide additional power to your ship. Several modules remain unused. Finding more batteries will enable you to utilize the full functions of your command station.
You will see that the Fortress of Doom has power-ups and stuff that you can unlock using Sentinel batteries. Also, here's a Gore Nest, which you remember from the first game. They work a little bit differently. They're optional battles that are timed. So once you destroy the Gore Nest, enemies will spawn and you have a certain amount of time to kill them all. If you do, then great. You do it and you increase your combat rating there in the top right-hand corner. The optional ones are displayed in pink.
I think that was the first really prominent gulp.
They're all there. You just gotta listen to them over, like, all the other sounds that are happening.
Oh.
So now we're in hell again, and we got the plasma rifle, which is not only better functionally than it is in Doom 2016, it also looks more like the classic plasma rifle, which I appreciate greatly. It sounds better, it feels better, and it does more damage. Also, Revenants are here.
Our buddies, oh, there he goes.
The Revenants' weak points are their shoulder cannons. You don't need to worry so much about them, because Revenants, they're still really weak. Like, they're still disappointingly ineffective against you, even if you don't go for their weak points.
If you don't go for their weak points, their missiles are a huge pain in the ass.
I never noticed them. Whenever you are being targeted by homing missiles, something on your screen will say missiles incoming, whether it's Revenants or there's a few other enemies that can do that later. I never feel like I'm getting hit by them, though. They feel easy to outrun. Very good strategy is if you're kind of not doing anything, just find a little weak enemy wandering around, flame belch, and then chainsaw, so you get a lot of armor and then a lot of ammo.
I like that they've realized with the Revenants that skeletons are supposed to be macabre and creepy, but they're actually just kind of hilarious.
I know. They've always been funny, but modern games really dig into that. So we found an album at Doom's Gate. That's the classic main Doom song. You can listen to these as you wander around the Fortress of Doom, and it's fun. There's a whole bunch of them. Another good example of the collectibles being a lot more interesting. What's not interesting is this gloop. I hate it. When you walk through it, you can't dash, you can't jump, you move really slow. It shouldn't be in this game, and it's stupid.
That's why you jump over it.
Yeah, you can jump and dash over a lot of it, but you're gonna be in it eventually. And I wanted to show off... I don't know why, but I wanted to show off what it does.
Also going back to the Revenants being goofier, it's even to the point where they had a skin you could get if you pre-ordered the game, which was the Doot skin, which replaced their missile launchers with large trumpets.
Yeah. It's so good. I did pre-order the game, but I gave away the code that had that as well as Doom 64 in our Discord. There are skins in this game. There's no microtransactions, but there are monthly events and stuff where you can unlock skins for Doomslayer as well as certain enemies. You don't see them in campaign, though. You only see these skins for the enemies in multiplayer.
Man, Microwave Beam I want to like more than it lets me.
God, me too. The Heat Blast is great. The Stun Bomb from Doom 2016 is gone because it was probably too overpowered. Let's upgrade some stuff while I talk. But it's replaced instead with the Microwave Beam, which I'm not getting and I probably won't use. What happens is you fire it at an enemy, it slowly does damage and takes a ton of ammo, but while you do it, the enemy is pretty much stunned in place, and if you can do enough damage, they explode. But it is, you can't really attack anything else while you're doing that, so it never feels worth it, and it never feels efficient.
There is a Sentinel power core nearby. You can use it to activate the mech and clear a path forward.
It rips through ammo. It absolutely rips through ammo, and just... It's so slow.
Yeah, and if you run out of ammo in the middle of it, then the enemy's just like, oh, well, that was fun. Anyway, gonna kill you now.
It is functionally worthless against larger enemies.
I was hoping we'd punch through the wall.
No kidding, that's what I was saying too. Stupid game. I'm very passionate about that fist not punching.
I saw you dash twice earlier. Is that how much you can dash?
Yep, you can dash twice. There's certain points where you can see like a yellow glowing tube that will, if you collect that while dashing, it'll automatically refill your dash so you can do it more too. That's usually to get to farther away platforms.
That guy was just watching. And so was that one.
I need the health. Well, I don't, but shut up. It's fun. I just really don't want to miss anything. That stock scream.
It's her doorbell.
Come in! Staying on these and waiting for the rings to lower will pretty much activate the switch. Man, isn't that drop in the music cool? Would it still be cool if you heard it 50 times throughout the rest of the game?
No.
No, this song's really cool the first time you hear it. You'll get sick of it by the end of this game.
That's why we only record these every other week.
Yeah.
Although this game has a very good sense of scale.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Look at all this. Look how... Like, this is a game from 2020. I feel like there are games that look more impressive, but this game is fucking gorgeous to look at overall.
Art direction is more important than graphical power.
Yes. Even then, this game's still powerful as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I'm running this on Ultra, but this game has actually Ultra Nightmare graphics settings, which I cannot run.
Yeah, I had nothing but technical difficulties with some of this shit, so it's kind of tragic, honestly, but...
It is tragic, because other than, like, the occasional bug, which didn't affect much, I had no issues playing this game.
Thankfully, I managed to stop playing just before a very awful enemy became commonplace.
That's a long ways down the road, thankfully. Ah!
I'm already seeing the dash being useful for clearing the space to do a glory kill.
Very useful, yes. Especially if the enemies are, like, in midair and a bit too far for your regular jump to reach. And since we were talking about Ultra Nightmare earlier, I guess I'll go ahead and mention that extra difficulty I mentioned in Part 1 but never got back to, is Extra Life Mode. Extra Life Mode is kind of like Ultra Nightmare, where in Ultra Nightmare you play the game on Nightmare difficulty, and if you die, game over, you have to start over from the beginning. Extra Life Mode's a little different. You can still choose your difficulty. It doesn't have to be on Nightmare Mode, but if you lose all of your lives, then you have to start over, no matter what difficulty you're playing. This game gives you a ton of lives, actually. I guess kind of spoilers. I'm not done recording this LP yet. I still have like 2 levels left. I've yet to actually die. Despite how hard this game is, if you get good at it and get a bunch of lives, you're not actually going to completely die a lot.
See, as someone who's not as good at it, I don't mind the lives, but also, complaint I do have is that if you lose all your lives, you do not get them back at a checkpoint.
That makes total sense, though. Otherwise, you would, like, never run out. Kinda.
It would kind of defeat the purpose.
Yeah. Because they're not, like, literally lives. They're just instant respawns, essentially.
Yeah, but, like, once again, if you're not as good at it, it makes certain sections a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to lower the difficulty in this game. It is hard, especially on your first playthrough. Collecting all the extra lives can help, though. And there's that yellow thingy I was talking about. A dash refill.
I'm liking how quick he climbs those.
I know, his arms are so goofy. And if you, like, zoom out from your first-person view, you'll see that the arms are just the arms. There's no other Doom Guy model. It's really funny. Also, if you are interested in reading the Codex entries, they will all be posted in the thread in the description, just like with Doom 2016. I don't think I ever mentioned that in the LP itself of Doom 2016, but they're there. So this is a long bygone relic of the great battle between the Sentinels and Hell. The Sentinels had these gigantic robots to kill the Thralls, the gigantic slave titans. Ew, gloopy.
Well, I think we can confirm no bacteria or anything to break down corpses in hell.
No, bacteria can't do anything bad. I don't know about that. I don't know what I was trying to say there. Bacteria doesn't go to hell. So this is like the easiest secret encounter in the game. Just a few lost souls, which are as pathetic as they always are. That one just killed itself on my ass.
Yeah, it feels like for that one you could just wait.
Yeah, pretty much.
Murdered by your buns of steel.
The secret encounters can get pretty hard, but that is not one of them. And you keep seeing that, like, purple glow on the map. We're gonna get to that, and it's great.
Yeah.
Into the gut. Ugh, more poop. Poop.
Your poop is purple. You got bigger issues.
Then hell? Maybe. Arm. Tort mentioned in Doom 2016 how you could just kind of punch the regular zombies and it'll automatically stagger them. Not in this game. Your punch pretty much does no damage on its own.
And it's kind of a shame, but also, like, the easier to use chainsaw understandably makes it pointless.
Yeah, pretty much. Great shot, Jacob. Holy shit. This is a game, like, no matter how many times you play it, you're gonna get better as the levels go on, as you get more used to it. Early on in the LP, I was considering restarting recording because I didn't feel like I was playing well enough, but then I kicked major ass in the next level, and I was like, this is just how the game works. God, all the goop. I hate it so much.
Thankfully, they don't really use it much.
No, there's only a few levels that it's actually in. Also, one thing I don't do so much is that the precision bolt for the assault rifle is also very useful for shooting weak spots. Like, you can pretty much one-shot the Arachnotron's turret or the Revenant's shoulder cannons. What must this smell like?
Death warmed over.
Death and piss. What?
It's death and piss, much like a truck stop bathroom.
But lukewarm.
Ugh.
Ugh. Lukewarm and piss are two words I don't want to go together.
Feels like you don't even need that refill.
Yeah, you're right. Well, actually, no. Dashing to a monkey bar does not refill your dash. It's only when you land on the ground for a second. Alright. So now that we got Sentinel Crystal for those two, demons will now drop armor at a faster rate when they're on fire. This guitar lick is actually from when you complete an episode. Wait a second. Whoa. That's a good way to show those platforms fall. This guitar lick is from the end of the episode song from the original Doom. When you finish a level and it's got text, it's like, you did it, you kicked the asses. There's a lot of small callbacks to classic Doom songs in this soundtrack. It's quite nice. Greetings, I already shot off your cannon. You're an idiot. I hate your mom. Well, that was fun.
I don't know, I still feel a precision bolt is too good.
It's good for headshotting weak enemies, and it's good for the...
Any pinpoint hit. Any.
Yeah.
And there's a lot.
Any pinpoint, like, weak spot, but... I mean, other than that, there's not much it's particularly useful for.
That's a lot of things, though, is the thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the point is, like, functionality, it does a lot, and it's useful for a lot, but then, like, the micro-missiles are kind of pointless then.
Oh yeah, the micro-missiles are absolutely put on the back burner in this game. I don't think I hardly use them at all.
Because they never need to.
What? What the hell is this? A Slayer Gate.
I love these.
If you're playing this for the first time, do this. You'll get an achievement. It's called Ow. So that's the Slayer Gate. We can't open it right now. There's a key. You saw it on the map there. It kind of blended in with the rest of the purple. Once we find that key, which is usually pretty close to the Slayer Gate itself, we can go inside and see what lovely things await us inside.
It's good.
Jump over here, and there's the key. See, it's not that far away from the Slayer Gate at all. Very few of them are.
It's not even a key, that's a weapon.
Yeah, you can probably beat the shit out of people with this. So in here is a gore nest. Destroy it, and... you are teleported to a special, usually significantly more difficult than the rest of the level encounter, where oftentimes you will see more powerful enemies before they're introduced in the main campaign. Beat this, you get an Empyrean key. Get all the Empyrean keys in the game. The game will spoil what it gives you, because this game does that. I won't. If you play the game with tutorials on, you'll already know what you get, but I think it's more fun if you don't know, if you're unfamiliar.
I like knowing mostly because I know, like, knowing what I'm working towards instead of just kind of blindly getting collectibles.
And that's fair. This one, like, my first time playing, gave me a lot of trouble, but looking back, it's not that hard. Except for this new enemy, the Dread Knight. They're pretty strong. They can definitely get on your nerves. They're a good mid to upper tier enemy. I think that the new enemies in this game are way more memorable than that of Doom 2016. Or the only one I remember is like the Hellraiser and the Summoner. And even then, they're not like my favorite Doom enemies. There's some good enemies in this game.
Well, to be fair, this game does a lot more like the cyberized demons than the previous games did.
Yeah.
So, like, the Dread Knight is one of those examples. So it's more than just the Cyber Mancubus.
Cyber Mancubus and Cyber Demon, yeah. Ooh. You gotta love a good cut that doesn't go all the way through.
It's extra painful.
All I know is if I'm cutting my meat, I want to go all the way through.
Stop slicing yourself.
I'm not gonna just eat a half-cut steak. That's ridiculous.
Butterfly, it makes it cook faster.
I did it! And the Slayer gate is displayed in purple on your combat points in the top right. Well, now it's green because I did it.
How's it feel to know that you got a key to get a key?
Well, I'd never thought of it like that. I'm gonna have to think in the fetal position after we're done recording to help find the answer to that question.
I play a bunch of adventure games. I'm used to it.
I'll take that. Hold on. What is happening?
I am amazed you were able to recover.
I think there's like a slight bit of platform directly like underneath this grabby boy that I was able to land on repeatedly.
The Betrayer's life signal is nearby.
This was not mentioned at all,
Lord.
and it will never be mentioned again. I feel like once I get a moment, once we see what the Betrayer is, I may just read his codex entry just to, because he is important, but he's not really brought up or explained much, like, in
There are
wording.
motion sensors and artillery everywhere.
I told you all to leave me here. I am where I belong. Saving your people will not bring you peace. Only make the burden you carry worse. And now you seek to defy the Calm Maker herself. It is your people's time now to give penance, just as it was mine. Hear me, Slayer. When his heart is laid to rest, then his soul will be at peace. And so will mine.
Okay, I'm reading through it again. It's actually complicated, and we're not quite done with this level yet. I'll read off the codex entry at the end of the video. We're almost done here.
It's probably not anything that needed to be explained to you in-game. Just something you could read up on.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if your motivation is kill them demons that be invading their Earth, then yeah, you have all the motivation you need.
The extraction point has been identified. I will mark its location on your HUD.
Isn't basically like he fucking betrayed the Sentinels for the sake of his son or something like that?
I mean, with a name like the Betrayer, like that's an unfortunate title to be given.
I mean, it's a title that you earn.
Well, yeah. Still, you're given it.
You don't just casually get called the Betrayer.
Let's see, you're the Crusher, you're the Destroyer, you're the Betrayer. Okay.
You got an air about you.
I don't like you. Well, I was already planning on betraying you, but I mean, now I'll do it twice as hard.
Now you're just giving me a reason.
Quad damage. In this game, it's called Onslaught, which is the same thing. This will be the last fight of the level. God, the Flame Belch plus the Heat Blast is a great way to just jack up your armor. spicy.
That's a spicy meatball.
Don't fight him, feed him.
Don't fight him, feed him.
That Arachnotron wanted to key us.
Rude.
Did you hear that? Ugh. Someone's just having an unrelated stomach ache. Hello? Anyone else? There we go. Don't go through that portal if you still have secrets left.
Yeah, you couldn't see the zombie marine off in the corner having the worst shits of his life.
His codename's Diarrhea.
Like Johnny from Metal Gear Solid 4.
Exactly.
Hiding in a demon barrel. An explosive barrel. Yeah, they're in this game. Alright. So again, the 1-ups don't count towards your collectibles at the end, but they're on the map, so I may as well just get them.
But you want them.
Now here's something interesting. This is a secret, but it just has armor. Actual secrets themselves do not count towards your collection. Like, if there's not an actual collectible in them, you can still skip them and get full exploration. It's really weird.
That's it. We didn't go over this before, but like dropping down pits does not kill you.
You're right, it doesn't. It's like Zelda. You lose some health and you're transported back to the last solid ground you were on.
It's so very nice.
It is, especially on Ultra Nightmare. Because that makes Ultra Nightmare runs a lot more tolerable.
It also makes fucking up with platforming a lot more manageable.
Look at that buddy! He's a little buddy, I like him.
Congrats on your meatball.
And you can see all the items that you found over there. Anything that you haven't gotten will be replaced with a question mark. But I've gotten all the collectibles, I've done all of the combat. Let's get out of here.
Goodbye.
And this is why it's a lot easier to see what you missed when it comes to the combat, because every bit of combat is labeled individually. Like, you have your regular combat, which you can't miss, and then you have the hidden combat, which, like, if you didn't find it, then you know, okay, that's a hidden fight that I should probably look out for next time I play. Rather than in Doom 2016, where there were a few times where I didn't get full combat rating, I was like, where was that last bit?
So do you want to read the Betrayers Codex?
Sure, I'll go ahead and do that, just to make it clear, because he is important to the plot. After years of prolonged war against the demonic threat invading their world, Argentineur launched an offensive strike across dimensions, sending their greatest warriors into the heart of hell itself. Despite their training and their preparedness, their honor was undone by deceit. Betrayal at the highest level of command left Argentineur's bravest warriors cut off and scattered in the hellscape. But of these last remaining Knight Sentinels, only one remained in hell by choice. Betrayer of the Argenta, it was Commander Valen who relinquished the keys to the elemental S-E-P-U-L-C-H-R-E.
Sepulcher.
That word. Sepulcher, sure. In return for his son's resurrection. Haunted by demonic visions, the image of his son's tortured existence plagued him without relent, the whispers of demons pushing him towards madness. In a moment of weakness, he fell prey to the demon's trickery, sealing the fate of Argentineur and dooming the kingdom to which he swore a lifelong oath to protect. Valen chose to exile in the hellscape for his sacrilege. So he pretty much caused the fall of Argentineur, which I believe, from my understanding, is where the Sentinels kind of lived. To resurrect his son, or at least to try to.
So are the Sentinels from a different planet?
Not from a different planet. I believe that's a bit interesting. At least Doomslayer's origins are explained in this game verbosely. Like, you will see how Doomslayer came to be in this game in a very non-vague way. I have to point that out, because if I say if it's explained, oh, it's explained in a codex. No, it's a cutscene.
No, it's very explicit.
Yeah, we'll see where that's from. The Night Sentinels themselves, they're a bit more vague, and I'm not entirely sure if they're like if they were once human or if they were like born and raised and created in hell.
Their own thing.
Yeah.
They are their own world. Argent Dinner is a different planet entirely.
Yeah, a different realm at least.
It definitely explains a lot of it. And it definitely connects the threads between the Doomslayer and Doom Guy. Like, it definitely tries its best to marry the two and kind of just ends up explaining everything.
I guess as long as it's interesting, then fine.
Yeah, I'm interested in it. I don't always understand it, but I'm curious at the very least. It's still pretty dumb though. It's not like Shakespeare, and you wouldn't expect it to be.
Well, at least you've got me here. I got a C in creative writing in college.
Oh, hell yeah. You could have written this story then.